Hello, this is your regular mad scientist Kazirs, and here I'll show you how to play one of my personal favorite decks, Cyber Dragon ABC, a measuring style deck designed around turning out Buster and Infinity alongside some other disruptions, while being somewhat resilient to hand traps with cards like Unauthorized Reactivation and some clever sequencing. Take a note that since this is a deck I'm fairly passionate about, I'll go a lot more in depth with the combos and also trade card decisions. Now let's take a look at the deck. Now for our monsters we have 3 What is a Cookie, 1 Gold Format Killer, 1 Driver that is annoying to draw part 2, 2 Guardians of the Galaxy, 2 as easy as 1, 2, 3, 1 Out of the Podium, 1 100% not Wally, 3 Please No Feed Picks, 3 Solo of the deck, 2 Generation Next, 3 of the OG Good Hand Trap, and 1 Heart of the deck. Now for spells we have 1 Smoking Cables, 3 Warning, Warning, 1 Creationism in a card, 1 Geppetto's Office, 3 Cowed by Reactivation, and 3 Hangar 13. For our only trap, we have Yasina's Web 3. Now over in the extra deck we have 1 Link Hate, 3 Jackson 5 Would Be Proud, 1 Machine Hate, 1 Opponent Hate, 1 2 Infinity and Beyond, 1 Boom, 1 Coca-Cola Bear Fan, 1 You Are a Winner, 1 Platinum Surfer, 1 Broken Carrier, 1 Not a New Way, 1 Green Snack, and 1 Really Lost Unicorn. Now over on the side deck I have a bunch of other ideas that you can try out yourself. But first, let's take a look at the combos of the deck. Now, this first combo won't end on a huge board, but this is a good showcase of how Naxter turns Driver into a full-on Garnet into a combo piece. Start by using Naxter effect to pitch the Driver, then use its effect to revive the Driver. After that, use Driver effect in order to equip itself to Nasha, and use then its other effect in order to equip and beat to Nasha. Then summon the B, make a carrier, this will search you an A or a C, then use carry effect to equip the last piece, then you normal summon, and then make Buster. Now, the same combo as before can be done even if you draw a core, but it will require a different sequencing. Start by normal summoning core, using its effect in order to grab yourself Emerging, use Emerging in order to grab yourself a Nash. After that I use Nash effect to fish the Driver, and summon back the Driver just like in the last combo, then use the effect in order to equip, then equip a B, summon the B. Now you make Unicarrier, then you search specifically A. Then you use carry effect in order to equip the C to the core, and make a contact fusion in order to trigger the C, then summon the A, then make Bust. Now, from this point onwards, all the combos that we showcase will end at least on your bread and butter board of Infinity plus Buster. Take a note that for this specific combo, you need B or A, because if you open the C, you can't extend all your way into a Buster without having an extra fodder in hand. Start by normal summoning the piece, you use unauthorized reactivation to equip a Driver, then equip the other piece that is left for the combo. Then you normal summon the piece, then you make Carrier, use B1, A2, then you add the B back, then use B in order to search C. Then you use Carry effect in order to equip a Potter Opto, use Opto in order to equip a Soldier, then use Surgery effect in order to pitch one of the pieces, get another copy, pitch the last piece, make a Nova, make an Infinity, then you can make Buster. Now this combo showcases the versatility of Core and how you can end on Buster even without hard opening any piece. Start by normal summoning Core, using his effect in order to grab a Repair Plant, then use a Natural Activation in order to equip a Driver, use Driver effect in order to equip a B, summon the B. Then you make Union Carrier. After that carry effect is gonna get you an A. Then use carry effect in order to equip itself with Photon Orbital. Use Photon Orbital effect in order to grab the Soldier. Then use Soldier effect in order to discard the A. Search the Soldier. If you use Soldier, then use Repair Plan in order to search the last piece that's missing. Then use Soldier effect in order to pitch the last piece. Then you make Nova, make Infinity, and make Buster. Now, this combo is a showcase how opening a piece can make your combos more resilient and at the same time more explosive. Take a note that for this specific combo you need A or C because you will equip B with an authorized. Start by normal summoning Core, using Core effect in order to grab a Repair Plant, using authorized reactivation in order to equip a Driver to it, then use Driver effect in order to equip a B, then you summon the B, then you make Union Carrier. This will trigger B in order to search a SAS piece that is missing, then use Carrier effect in order to equip itself a Photon Opto, use the effect in order to search a Soldier. Then use Soldier effect to pitch one of the pieces, then use Soldier effect in order to add another cell, then use Soldier effect in order to summon itself again, make a Nova, use Repair Plant in order to search itself a Veer, then you use Nova effect in order to revive back the core, this will trigger the Veer summoning itself, then you make a Mascarena, then you make Infinity, then you make Buster. Take a note, you can also have the path that you can search an Overload Fusion instead of searching the Airplant, but this makes you more fragile to hand traps, although the Uranium board is slightly more powerful in certain matchups, so judge this in a game to game base. Now we start getting to the real crux of the deck, which are the Hangar combos. There are many variations, but we will start slow with the one card Hangar combo. Start by playing the hanger, using the effect in order to grab a B, summon the B, use hanger effect in order to equip itself with a driver, then use driver effect in order to equip a A, then use A effect in order to summon itself, then make Kara, then B1, A2. Take a note that some people here like summoning 2 Bs instead. I prefer keeping 1 B in deck in case I have an authorized reactivation. I can make my monster immune to spells. Then use both the letters effect, then use carry effect in order to get yourself Photon Orbital, use Orbital effect in order to grab yourself Soldier, then use Soldier effect in order to summon itself, hitching both the pieces and adding another copy of itself. Then you make Nova, then you make Infinity, then you make Buster. Now, this is a 2-card combo that allows you to end on the same board as before but without using your normal summon. Start by using the hanger, this time with such a driver. Then use Nashter effect in order to pitch the driver and summon the Nashter, then use the effect to summon the driver. Then equip B to the driver with the hanger for the player or older, then use driver effect in order to equip itself, this will trigger the B, searching a piece, then use driver effect in order to equip another B, summon the B, then you make carrier and search the last piece. After that use carrier effect in order to equip a Photon Orbital, then use Orbital effect in order to get the Galaxy Soldier. Then use Soldier effect to pitch one of the pieces, then use Soldier effect to search itself, then use Soldier effect again, then you make Nova, then you make Infinity, then you make Buster without using your normal summon. Now, this combo showcases a different sequence that even though it ends on the same amount of interruptions normally, it's a lot more resilient to hand trap since even if they hand trap you once outside a few silver bullets you'll still be able to handle the Buster. Also, unlike the combo with Core, this combo you can open any of the pieces that will still be able to perform it. Use hanger and search a piece in the way that you have either B or C and A in your hand. Then use hanger effect in order to get the driver, search the piece that is left, summon it, then you make a platinum gadget, then trigger B1, C2, summon the A, B will search you another B, then use platinum gadget in order to summon the B. Then you make a union carrier, this will trigger B and A in order to get 2 fodders in your hand. Then use Scare Effector in order to summon the Photon Orbital, then use Photon Orbital effect in order to search a Galaxy Soldier, use the Galaxy Soldier once, search another Soldier, use the Galaxy Soldier twice, then you make Nova, then you make Infinity, then you make Buster. Now, this is where you start to see the stronger boards of the decks back again. Start by playing the hanger, use the effect to search a B or a C, then summon it, then use the effect to equip a driver, then use driver effect to equip the piece that is left. After that, summon it, make a union carrier, do B1, C2, summon the piece, then with B you search an extra piece. After that, use hanger effect to equip a Photon Orbital, use Orbital effect to search a soldier, then use soldier effect to dump the piece, summon itself, then search another soldier, then you dump the Cyber Dragon, then you make Nova, use the Nova effect to revive the Cyber Dragon that you dumped. After that, make Infinity, make a Mascarena, then you trigger A effect to second, then make Buster. Now, this combo is a showcase that even if you open Soldier very early in the combo, you can still be able to pop off. Start by using Soldier into reaching the Hearth, then use Soldier effect as 1, Hearth 2, search an OG, then you search a Soldier, then use Soldier effect again to pitch the OG, then make Nova. Nova revives one of the Cyber Dragons, then you make Infinity. After that you use Hanger, then you create a B, summon the B, then use Hanger effect to equip a driver, use driver effect to equip in A or in C, doesn't really matter, summon it, then you make Platinum Gadget with B, search the last piece that is missing. After that you use Platinum Gadget to summon the piece, make a Mascarena and make Buster. Now, this last combo that I will show off with Hanger is something that most of the times you just want to show if your friends in locals, because if you do it on a real dude, there's a very big chance you will be punished because it's a big overextension. Start by normal summoning your core, use the effect to search a repair plant, then use reactivation effect to equip a driver to it, then use driver effect to equip a B to it, then use Hanger effect to search an A, then use B effect to summon itself, then use Hanger effect to equip a C to the B, then make Platinum Gadget, and then B1, C2, summon the A with C, then search another B with B. After that use Platinum Gadget effect to summon the B, make a carrier, search another piece, and then use A in order to recycle back the B. Then you use Repair Plate in order to search the Soldier. Then you do the same steps as before, use Soldier 1, search the Soldier 2, use Soldier 2, summon it, make a Nova, make an Infinity, then use Carry effect in order to equip the last piece for your deck, then summon Buster 1 and Buster 2. Now, this is a showcase of the explosivity of an Overload opening. While they are not as resilient as the Hanger openings, they still can end on very powerful boards. Start by summon 4, use Core 1, Veer 2, summon the Veer, and use Core effect in order to search a Repair Plant. After that, make a Mascarena, use a Repair Plant in order to search itself in Galaxy Soldier, then use the Overload Fusion in order to summon a Rampage, then use Rampage effect in order to mill a Hearth and an Aster, use Hearth effect in order to search an OG, use Galaxy Soldier in order to discard the OG, then use Soldier effect in order to search another Soldier. Then make Nova, detach the Rampage, and summon back the Nachtor. Then use Nachtor effect you want to resummon the Rampage. Then you make Infinity, then use Rampage effect you want to build 2 pieces. After that make a Union Carry, use Carry effect you want to put the last piece, make a Buster. Now this is the last combo I will showcase, and it's not really a combo, more like a showcase of the potential of Buster tag out effects in generating advantage. Take a note that I will consider that Union Carry has already been exhausted because you will use it in most of your turn 1 plays. Use Buster effect in order to tag out into A, B, and C, and consider that you will draw dead in this draw phase. Now, make a Platinum Gadget use B and A. This will get you a B from the graveyard and a B from the deck. Then use Platinum Gadget to special summon a B, make a Masquerena, B will trigger and C will trigger summoning the B, and B will get you another piece that is left. Then you normal summon the piece that is left, make an Appaloosa, B will trigger getting you the last piece from the deck, make a Buster, use the effect pitching the beast in order to banish something, then make the second Buster in order to kill the opponent. Now that you have seen how the deck wants to play, we will go back to the deck list where I will explain my card choices and ratios. Now for my hand trap lineup, I choose 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, and 3 Diddy Crow. I chose those 9 hand traps mostly because Diddy Crow I feel has a use against most of the meta and a bit unexplored, so I wanted to try it out, but if you feel like something is better on this lot, feel free to change it. 3 Ash because it's the most consistent hand trap in the game, and even though it doesn't really end turns, it annoys basically every deck in the game. 3 Nibiru, basically if combo comes back, I'm prepared, and also has some uses against a few meta decks. Then I did what we in the Cyber Dragon community call an 1 OG 0 dupe approach. Basically, this is more of an ABC Dragon list instead of a Cyber Dragon deck list in my opinion. And also, unlike the normal Cyber Dragon build, you can't always dedicate your normal summon to a small Cyber Dragon, so dupe can clog even harder than it normally does. And also, this is a go first build, so running multiple OGs in order to consistently resolve dupe is just not worth it. Now, I only run one driver because unlike the normal ABC build where this is a hard guardian that kills most of your combos if you don't authorize reactivation, this build will have a lot more leeway in case this card is dropped because you can simply get access to Naxter and Naxter will allow to use it as a combo piece. Even then, I don't think that interaction alone is enough to bump this card into higher numbers because it's still a bit too much clogging if you don't draw the Naxter. I only run 2 soldiers basically because I feel this card is too much breaking if you draw multiple copies, and you have an extremely easy time finding access to it because you have multiple copies of Repair Plan alongside the fact that any 2 monsters on the board makes a carry and carry extends it through Photon Orbital. I also run 2 of each piece because basically, as funny as it seems, the Farfamine sums it up perfectly. Wanna see them some of the times, but then other times because basically seeing a piece plus a starter generally is a good thing. But you don't want to see multiple pieces because they can clog your hands. And also, running just 1-1-1 makes your starters be extremely cloggy with each other, so I feel that 2 is on a very good spot. You have 1 Veer. Basically, I feel it's very important for certain combos because it turns in when you open Core plus Hanger a lot more fluid, and it also allows you to chain block your core when the TCG ruins. So even though it can be a bit cloggy when you don't open any other Cyber Dragon piece, I feel the price is still well worth paying. Then you have Photon Orbital, basically a guardian that you need in order to search your Galaxy Soldier. So run 3 core because even though it can conflict a bit with Hanger sometimes, this guy is still your best normal summon most of the time because it has an ability to basically search nearly your entire decks, give you access to the contact vision mechanic, alongside essentially giving you overflow as extra disruptions, and also gets you an amazing follow-up with this graveyard effect, so I feel running less than 3 is just incorrect. Now, I only run 2 Naxter. Basically, my reasoning for 2 Naxter is that Naxter is not the kind of card that you want to hard open with every game, but in the games that you want to have access to it, you generally want to have access to it twice, the first on turn 1 and the second one on turn 3. And when I only run 1 Naxter and try to recycle with hers, the games were very awkward in order to grind out because I only had 1 hers. So I decided to add the second Naxter for the short-term grind, and I felt it was on a sweet spot. Only run 1 hers. Basically, my reasoning for only 1 hers is that hers is very self-contained to the Cyber Dragon half of the deck. It doesn't really help the ABC part nearly as much outside of being really good fodder for Buster. And also, its utility is not really needed as much because as a discard fodder for Soldier, the ABC pieces do a much better job. And on the grind game, the ABC part of the deck, which is the most important one, doesn't want the game to drag nearly as much as you want with a normal Cyber Dragon deck. Because after turn 4 and 5, you start running out of gas because you lose your busters. So I decided for the short term grind, it was much better to just run 1 Hers and 2 Naxter instead of running multiple Hers. For the spells, I run only 1 Overload Fusion. Basically, my reasoning for only 1 Overload Fusion is that even though it can be an insane combo piece in this deck, because Rampage is bonkers on this strategy. It's very cloggy if you run multiples because I run such a small Cyber Dragon engine that sometimes you're just gonna draw Overload Fusion without having enough Cyber Dragons to resolve it. And at 1, you can always exit it from the deck with Anaconda in order to OTK. I run 3 Cyber Emergencies, basically one of the best rotas in the game because it's very resilient to negation and it also exits your entire Cyber Dragon health. One terraforming, it searches your hangar. I run one repair plant. Basically, it's a very good search card since it searches nearly your entire deck, but since it requires a Cyber Dragon engrave, it can be cloggy for the same reasons as Overload Fusion, so at 1 is just perfect. I like running 3 unauthorized reactivation, which in my opinion is the best card in the deck because even though it's not a 1 card starter like Hangar, the fact that it can double out as protection for your combo pieces and boss monsters is amazing, since equipping an A, B, and C makes the monster immune to monster effects, spells, and traps respectively. And is also one of the major reasons I really enjoy the 2-2-2 ratio because this makes the card live more often. After that we have Hangar. Don't really need to explain this. This is basically one of the best field spells in the game. I run one Overflow, which in my opinion is one of the best archetypal traps in the game. Because basically, at its worst is a Conquistador, which is a really good card, and at its best it basically wins the games on its own. And it has also a really neat utility that if you can able to pop it, you can actually use it as a start. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to run it more than 2 because my 7 Dragon engine is so small, but this card is just so good. I really wanted to bump it up, but I don't know what to cut it outside of making the deck over 40 cards, which I don't want. On the extra deck, I ran the Chimera Tech package of 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, and 1 Rampage. Basically, in my opinion, if you're not playing the Contact Fusion Chimera Techs, you're just playing Cyber Dragons wrong because it's their major strength going second. But unfortunately, in this meta, Mega Fleet and Fortress aren't the best cards, so I decided to only run 1-1 for the matchups where they have uses and try to end the game as quickly as possible. And Rampage is just absurd on this deck because not only is it an OTK enabler, it kills your ABC very quickly because it can mill the pieces. Then I run 3 Busters. I don't really need to explain this. It's your major boss monster, you kind of need 3 in the Grand Gate. If you're very greedy, you can only run 2, but I wouldn't really recommend it in any shape or form. I run 1 Nova and 1 Infinity. Basically, both cards are amazing in the strategy or your secondary boss monsters, but unlike Buster, those cards are very easily resummable from the graveyard, so I never felt the need to play more than 1 copies of each. With Apple, basically my reasoning for Apple is that with Mascarena, you just have an easy time making it with 4 materials during the opponent's turn, and also on turn 3, you don't really need a link like Borrow Sword or Access Code Talker because you can very easily generate enough advantage to make a double buster, so the extra safeness that having an Appaloosa on the board provides is much more powerful than simply having an access code talker in order to overkill your opponent. I run 1 Seeger. Basically, even though it's the card that I make the least in the extra deck, it still has very much important utility in a few cases. Most importantly, it's my main auto monster that are untargetable and unaffected by card effects, alongside being able to bump Rampaging R to the OTK. And at last, in a desperate situation, you can make Overload Fusion live with just 1 Cyber Dragon as long as you have another material in the field. To that I run 1 Platinum Gadget, because even though making it sometimes can feel like an overextension, the fact that it opens up certain lines of plays for the deck is pretty nice. Then I run 1 Carrier, which is bonkers on this deck because it has an amazing value with both halves of your strategy because you can equip any piece, summon any piece if you don't even use Driver, get access to Galaxy Soldier, equip an Hers or Aquarion to trigger the graveyard's effect next turn, and even equip the OG in order to contact Fuse from the spell and trap zone, which is really fucking insane. Like, this card is just so good on this deck. It's amazing. I run 1 Mascarena. Even though I only have 1 target in the form of Appaloosa, the fact that it's such a power play makes it very much worth running it. That being said, I really want to experiment with Unicorn, maybe taking out Seeger for it. Then I run 1 Varte. Basically, it's just really good for exiting Overload Fusion, and that's it. Then I run 1 Alumirage, which is basically very good for corner cases where you need to link away core immediately to the graveyard, and its effect to protect the card can be very clutch in certain matchups, for example Deny and Trident. Now we'll take a look at the side deck for other options and cards that you can try out. First, we have the extra normal summon engines of the Symphonics and the Yatta. Decided against that in the final build because Yatta only really gets really strong value when you can tribute a B or a core with its effect. And the Symphonic engines, I don't like the fact that it's a discard fodder alongside the fact that I have to run a Garnet. Then I have multiple copies of the Chimera Techs. Basically, if the meta shifts toward them being more relevant, definitely add more EV. If you add more copies of Fortress, definitely try to tech in a Ding Girsu because Ningirsu can help you out monsters that can't be targeted, which can be a problem for this deck sometimes, and also allows you to recycle back a card from the battlefield, which make you have some interesting lines of play, and at last, it has 2100 defense, so it's easily recycled back with Noxer. Then I have Panzer and Millennial Eyes. Basically, if you want to run instant fusion, those two are the best targets, but I simply don't see any space for them as of now. Then we have one Anima. Basically, it's just a really powerful link one, since it can help you out problematic monsters that have been mispositioned, or a kaiju that you gave to your opponent in order to out something, and it can also help you trigger your hurts much more consistently, so definitely try to find any space for this if you want to rework the extra deck. Then we have Machine Dump and Cyber Network. Basically, both are extremely high rolling cards, but at the same time they require specific hands in order to be used at their maximum, so I don't like running in. But the new support can change that reality, so always keep that in the back of your mind. Then I have Cyberload Fusion. Basically, it's a really good card. You can definitely try running it yourself, but I felt to be a little bit too much clunky for your taste, but if it fits your playstyle a bit more, definitely run it. Then I have one set rotation. Basically it's another way to access Hanger, but unfortunately we don't have any other good secondary field spells anymore, unless you are being really stupid and giving your opponents a mine. Then you have the mine itself, which is a solid card since it can help you either bait out negations or serve as win condition itself after you bait the opponent's negation. That being said, I wouldn't main deck it since it has very little purpose going first outside like core mine pass. With that is the end of the guide. Huge shoutouts to Yasine because his videos gave me inspiration for certain hand trap lineups and ratios, and Winter Kills for shouting me out on his last video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe if you did, otherwise tell me in the comments how I can improve it. And with that, I hope to see you back again at my lab.